All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Black History webinar. I don't have any presentations up for tonight, but I will be sharing a lot of great content with you all. I will actually have photos of tonight's webinar put up as of early as tomorrow evening of the artists, or I should say the actors as well as the actresses that I'm speaking on, so you can watch that. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the best black actors. Last night I talked on Denzel Washington, Sidney Poitier, not Sidney Poitier, Denzel Washington, Forrest Whitaker, and freaking Morgan Freeman. And I kind of talked about those gentlemen last night on the call, so I will make sure that I will have the content up by tomorrow before we get ready to do the next part of the. Sorry about it. Sorry about that, everybody. Doing two things at once. Make sure I have the webinar of tonight's presentation up so you can just kind of watch everything that I kind of share with you all tonight. So let me go ahead and get started because I have a lot of celebrities I want to kind of talk about. So the first one we're spotlighting tonight is Cindy Poitier. Cindy Poitier was a native of Cat Island, Bahamas, although born 2 months premature in Miami during a visit by his parents. Evelyn Alton and regional James Paul, Portier. He grew up in poverty as the son of the farmer and his father also driving a cab in Nassau. So I'll give you a little bit more background history of Cindy Portier. Cindy had a little formal education at the age of 15, was sent to Miami to live. So we're going to get a little bit deeper, everybody. 15, he was sent to Miami to live with his brother in order to forestall a growing tension towards delinquency in the U.S. He experienced the racial challenge and the divides of the country as a great shock to a boy first and foremost. Sidney Poitier was born in February 20th, 1927 in Miami, Florida. Okay. At the age of 18, he went to New York, did meaty jobs, and slept in bus terminal toilets. A brief stint in the army as a worker at the veteran hospital was followed by more measly jobs in the Harlem. An impressive audition at the American Negro Theater was rejected so forcefully that Portier declared the next 6 months to overcome his accent and improve his performing skill. On his second try, he was accepted, spotted in a rehearsal by casting agents. He won a bit part in the Broadway production of Larry, for which he had earned great reviews. By the end of 1949, he was having to choose between a leading role on stage and offered to work for Darrell F. Snibble in the film No Way in 1950. His performance as a doctor treating a white uh, by Guy him plenty of notice and led to more roles. Nevertheless, the roles were still less interesting and pronounced prompting than those white actors routinely obtained. But 7 years later, after turning down several projects, he considered them demeaning Poitier got a number of roles that captured him into a choreographic rare, if ever achieved by African American men of that time, that of leading men. One of the films of the fine one, 1958, earning Poitier his first Academy Award nominee as Best Actor. 5 years later, he won the Oscars of Lily of the Fields in 1963, and the first African American to win for a leading role. And January 6th of 2022, he passed away in Los Angeles, California. May you continue to rest in peace. Thank you for your hard work and dedication of acting and sacrifices and all the things that you done in this lifetime in your years of living on this earth. May your soul rest in peace from the founder of On Time Ministry. All right. So let's get into the next one. So who I'm talking about tonight is going to be a slide that'll be showed so that way you can see a lot of the content of the history of all the actors and actresses that we're talking about tonight. So last night we talked about Denzel. The night before, last night we talked about Denzel and Morgan Freeman. Now we're getting into Richard Pryor. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a little background history about each one. So, Richard Pryor, highly influenced and always controversial African American actor slash comedian who was equally well known for his colorful laugh language during his live comic shows, as for his fast paced life, multiple marriages, and battles with drug addiction. He has been acknowledged by many modern comic artists. Richard Pryor, continue to rest in peace. My dear man, thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your laughter and movies that you played in. The next one we're spotlighting tonight is Eddie Murphy. Edward Reginald Murphy was born April 3rd, 1961 in Brooklyn, New York, to Lily Lynch, born as Lily Lane, a telephone operator, and Charles Edwards Murphy, a transgender police officer who was also an amateur comedian and actor. After his father died, his mother married Vernon Lynch, a foreman. So this is giving you a background history about Eddie Murphy. Like I told you, everybody, you will see slides of everything I'm talking about tonight. But I'm just going to give you a little bit background history about everybody I'm speaking on this platform. All right. Samuel Jackson is an American producer and a high profile actor, having appeared in over 100 films, including Die Hard, With the Vengeance, Unbreakable, Shaft, Formula 51, Black Snake Moon, Snake on the Plane, and the Star Wars Quill trilogy, which was in 1999 through 2005. Samuel Jackson continued to do great things. All right, now we're moving on to Lawrence Fishburne. Critically hailed for his forceful, mutant, and authoritative figure and one of the Hollywood's most talented and veteran performers, Lawrence John Fishburne III has been the recipient of numerous awards, including a number of NAACP Image honors. Born in Augustine, Georgia on July 30th, 1961. All right. So that's the background history of Lawrence Fishburne. All right. The next one we're talking about is Wesley Snipes. Wesley Trey Snipes was born in Orlando, Florida, to Marilyn Long, a teacher assistant and an SMSGT. Wesley Rudolph Sniper, an aircraft engineer. He grew up on the streets of South Bronx in New York City, where he was very early decided that dancing and theater were to be his career. So that's the background history about Wesley Snipes, everybody. Let's keep the ball moving. We have not Ken, Kevin David. Kevin David is a classic trained actor, winning 3 Emmys out of the 6 nominees, as well as being nominated for a Tony Award. He starred in the recent concluded TV series Greedly for Oprah Winfrey's O Network, upcoming film including Horizon Line with Allison Williams, which is called Get Out. So most of you seeing Keith Davis in The Greenleaf and many other movies over the years and TV shows and whatnot. And he played his part to the T in the Greenleaf series on the old network. For those of you who have looked at Greenleaf and all the series coming to that. So let's keep the ball moving. The next one we're talking about is Danny Glover, actor, producer, and humanitarian. Danny Glover has been a combating presence on screen, stage, and TVs for more than 35 years. Glover was born in San Francisco, California, to Carrie Hitling and James Glover, a postal workers who were also activists in civil rights. Okay? So we're going to get a little bit more in detail with that, but like I said, I want to give you a little background history on that. Bill Cosby is one of the world's most well-known entertainer and comedians. William Henry Cosby Jr. was born on July 12th, 1937 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania to Annie Gossip was the first two. So he was the first two. Whew, that's a lot, but I'm getting it in, everybody. So the next one we have is Yves Countess, a physical, imposing, intense. Yaphet Kotto was one of the few actors of his generation to succeed in breaking racial stereotypes in Hollywood. He was born in Harlem, New York, the son of Gladys, a nurse and an army officer, and Yaphet Kotto, a businessman turned construction workers. Shut the door. Sorry about that, y'all. Oh boy. All right. So many of you know this gentleman as I want to say he played in a lot of played in a lot of black movies in the early 70s. So I'm going to show you all the photos, like I said, of all these amazing actors here. All right. The next one I want to spotlight tonight is Charles S. Dove. Charles S. Dove was born on January 30th, 1951 in Baltimore, Maryland, U.S. as Charlie Stanley Dove. He's an actor and a producer known for Alien 3, Glock, and A Time to Kill. All right. He was previously married to Debbie Morgan. So most of you may have heard of Charles S. Dove. He played in The Rock. That was on Fox TV. He played in a lot of different movies, and he also kind of was narrative in a lot of different shows. And he was also took part, I believe, in The Wire that was on HBO like some time ago. Everybody. So he done a lot of stuff over his years. Okay. And I believe I want to say no. I'll take that back. He didn't take part in that show. I don't want to give you miscommuting information. So he didn't take part in that show. I'm thinking about another show. That's another actor. All right. The next one is John Amos, a native of New Jersey, a son of a mechanic, an African American. James Amos has relied on his imposing building, eroding nature, and strong forced looks to obtain acting jobs, and a serious desire for better roles to earn a satisfying place in the annuals of films and TVs. So John Amos, of course, we know he played James Evans in Good Times and many other shows over there. He played James Evan in Good Times. He played in Coming to America 1 and 2. And I believe he did other projects along the way. But he is very well known in the acting career, I should say. All right. The next one we're spotlighting is James Earl Jones, widely regarded as one of the greatest stage and screen actors, both in his native U.S. and nationally. James Earl Jones was born on January 17, 1931, in Emmetsville, Mississippi. At an early age, he started to take drastic lessons to calm himself down. It appeared to work as he had set started. So he changed his whole perspective and started really focusing on becoming who he is today. A very amazing actor. And he also do narratives, I believe, too. And his voice is just very profound. It just captures your attention. Well, it captured my attention, but it's like, ooh, yeah. And it just wants you to just want to hear more what he has to say. And it's very deep. All right. The next one is Billy D. Williams. Most ladies know who Billy D. Williams back in the day. Yeah. Billy D. Williams was born as William December Williams on April 6, 1937. I didn't even know Billy D. Williams' name was December, okay? In New York City. Billy D has knotted up an impressive range of films and television appearances over the past 50 years. He is easily best known to film audience as the rugged Lotus Cloud. All right, I'm back, everybody. All right, so now this is Lotus Kaluza in the last two, and I believe it's talking about Star Wars. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and speak about one more and move on to the actresses because I'm gonna share the rest of these on tomorrow. Show you a whole presentation of it, so that way you can kind of just look at everything. Gregory Hines. Gregory Hines was born on February 14, 1946 in New York City. New York City as Gregory Oliver Hines. He is known for his work in the history of the World War Part 1, Running Scared. Well, great. Ooh. He was married to Pamela Knoxlow and Patricia Panning, and he died on August 9th, 2003. May you continue to rest in peace, Gregory Hines. All right. The last one is Ozzie Davis. Ozzie Davis was born on December 18, 1917, in Cottondale, Georgia, USA, as Ruffle Chapman Davis. He was an actor, a writer known for Do the Right Thing, Bubble Hop Out, and The Climb. He was married to Ruby Dee. He died on February 4th, 2005, in Miami Beach, Florida. Continue to rest in peace. Ozzie Davis. All right, everybody. We're switching gears and we're going into the best actresses. So we did about 21. So we're going to do 21 actresses. All right. Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg was born as Clarence Elise Johnson in the Chelsea section of Manhattan on November 13, 1955. Her mother, Emily Harris, was a teacher and a nurse, and her father, Robert James Johnson Jr., was a clergyman. Whoopi's recent ancestors were from Georgia, Florida, and Virginia. So that's a little bit back history about Whoopi Goldberg. She played in Serafina, Ghost, Corona Corona, Sister Act, and of course the phenomenal Color Purple. Angela Bassett. Captivating, gifted, and sensual, Angela Bassett presented has been felt in theaters and on stages and television screens throughout the world. Angela Evelyn Bassett was born on August 16, 1958, in New York City to a Betty Jane Gilbert, a social worker, and Daniel Benjamin Bassett. So the movies that, of course, Angela played in Waiting to Exhale, What Love Got to Do with It, The Score, How the Skeller Got Her Groove Back, Boys in the Hood, and she played in Black Nemesis. She plays on the show on Fox, 911 show. Uh, she do a lot of great content and shows, and it's showing that hey, this woman has character, sparkly, and power. Her voice, everything, and also too, she played in Black Panther. Okay, continue to do your thing, Angela Bassett. Cicely Tyson. Cicely Tyson was born in Harlem, New York, where she was raised by her devoted religious parents from the Caribbean islands of Nevis. Her parent was was a domestic, and her father was William Tyson, was a carpenter and a painter. She was discovered by a fashion editor at an Ebony magazine. So the movies that you can remember her is Sounder and The Help. And also too, you remember she played the part in the bio of Jan Pittman. It's a story that was in the early late 80s, and she was talking about the history of the story of Jane Pittman, and it's a story about her playing her part. And I can remember this vaguely because I watched that movie like when I was high, so I can remember her doing that. So we're gonna get a little bit more content about that. So the next one is Ruby Dee was an American actress, poet, playwright, a screenwriter, journalist, and civil rights activist. She is best known for her original role of Ruby Young in the stage film called version of A Rising in the Sun. She also starred in the Jackie Robinson show and she played in Cat People. And she also was married to Ozzie Davis. And she also played in American Gangster as well. Ruby D continue to rest in peace, my dear woman. All right, Alfred Woodard. Alfred Woodard was born on November 8th, 1952, in Tucson, Oklahoma, the youngest of three children of Constance Homemaker and Marlon H. Woodrow, an interior designer. She was named by her grandmother, who claimed she saw a vision of Alfred's name written out in golden letters. The movies that Alfred would have played in was Passion Fish, Crooklyn, Down in the Delta, Love and Basketball. She also played in Beauty Shop with Community for Everybody. And I believe she played in a movie that I love so much, Funny Valentine. It's a BET movie. Alfred Woodard featuring Loretta Devine. If you have not seen the movie Funny Valentine, I highly recommend that because it's like so amazing. In fact, I'm gonna watch that sometime before this week is out because it's just the way the content was shared, the way the movie was demonstrated, the way the plot and how it's just speaking truth. There was parts in the movie that was a little sketchy in terms of there was some bad things that happened, but the moral of the story is that even though those things happen, there was just something beautiful about that story that really just captured my attention perfect. So look up Funny Valentine with Alfred Woodard and Loretta Devine. It's a BET movie. It was a BET Aqua movie. I love talking about my black movies. It's just whew. So check that out. All right. The next one is Diana Carroll, one of the TV's profound African American series star, engaging actress, singer, and recording artist. Diane Carroll was born Carol Diane Johnson on July 17, 1935, in the Bronx, New York. The first child of John Johnson, a subway conductor, and Mabel Flex Johnson, a nurse. In the movies that she played was in Claudette, East Bayou, and Carmen Jones. You also can remember her playing in the show Different World with Jasmine Guy and Kadeen Harrison and Lisa Bonet and who else was on that? Summer Creek and all those amazing actresses and actors back then and how she played her part. She actually played Jasmine Guy mother in A Different World. And she was on there periodically. She was like a rich mom and Jasmine Guy grew up in a rich home. The dad and the mom stayed in a nice big old mansion and all this stuff. And that's the part she played in her later years. And also, too, she played in the TV show Julie, the nurse. Anybody remember that? So continue to rest in peace, Diane Carroll. All right, everybody. Dorothy Dandridge. Dorothy Jean Dandridge was born on November 9, 1922 in Cleveland, Ohio to Ruby Dandridge, known as Ruby Jean Butler, an entertainer, and Cecil H. Danvers, a carpet maker and minister, under the plowing of her mother, Dorothy, and her sister, Viola Danvers, being performed publicly and usually and played in Carmen Jones. So many have known of Dorothy Danvers, and she played in the movie Carmen Brown, and she did a lot of different things in that movie. Very beautiful woman. Also, too, they had Holly Berry play you know, her bio as Dorothy Dandridge. It was an HBO movie that was made some time and time ago, everybody. Very, very, very amazing movie. I watched Carmen Jones and I loved it. All right. And speaking of Holly Berry, there it is. Holly Berry. She played in Catwoman, which was that Catwoman she played in. Holly Marie Berry was born Marie Holly Berry on August 14, 1966, in Cleveland, Ohio, and raised in Bedford, Ohio as Julie Ann Hawkins, a psychiatric nurse. Jerome Jazzberry, a hospital attendant. Holly first came into the spotlight at 17 years old when she won the Miss Teen All American. So here's the movies that Holly Berry played, and she played in a lot. She played in Losing Isaiah, Boomerang, Monster Ball, Frankie and Alice, Things We Lost in the Fire, and she also played in a movie was called Kings. It was a movie that was in Los Angeles, and it was kind of going over the events that took place in the early 80s and late 80s and early 90s. So look at the movie Kings. It's a very good movie where she played a part where she had foster kids she was taking care of, and she had another son that was there, and it's a very good movie. It's a drama, of course, and it just gives you an insight about the history. See, the thing about Holly Berry is she plays her part and she plays them to the T, and she takes her. her actress skills to a whole nother level, and you just get so dive into the narrative of her character and how she plays her parts, and every part that she plays in is absolutely amazing. And I done watched a lot of Halle Berry movies, and I tell you, she do her thing behind the cameras, on the stage. She really is an amazing actress. She really is. All right. The next one we're going to be spotlighting is Elfta Waters, the child of a teenage rape victim. Elfta Waters grew up in a slum of Philadelphia and neighborhood cities, suddenly living anywhere for more than a few weeks at a time. No one raised me, she collectively. I just ran wild. She excitedly not only at life after herself, but also at singing. So we're going to get a little bit more in depth with Up the Waters and her background history, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Just want to give you a little background history. And the movie that she played in was Cabin in the Sky. All right. So I'm going to share one more. Viola Davis is a critical revived actress of film, TVs, and theaters, and has won raving reviews for her multitude of subtlety, enduring divine roles audience across the United States and internationally have admired her for her work, including her celebration of Oscar nominees. The movie she played in is The Help, Antoine Fisher, as well as Doubt. So Viola Davis has done some amazing things on the screens, everybody. Her acting is so profound. The way she played her part, she played it to the T. Continue to do great work, my dear woman. All right, I have one more. Lona McKee. Lena McKee's career began in the music industry in the hometown of Detroit, Michigan as a child prodigy, where she began playing keyboard, compass, music, and lyrics, singing and performing professionally at the young age. At 14, she recorded her first recordings record, Stop, Don't Worry About It. She played in the movie The Brewers Millions. She played in Sparkles, and she played in Jungle Fever. So most of you are trying to figure out who in the heck is Lynetta McKee. So many of you who've watched the movie, the original Sparkles, how she played that sister in the movie, and how she had all these issues going on. And also too, she played in Jungle Fever, and she played in Brewers Mirror. She's a very light skinned African American woman with very pretty hair, beautiful face, and everything. But I'll show you all the photos on tomorrow. And you know I can't end the night without talking about my girl Pam Grier, y'all. All right. So Pam Grier was born in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, one of four children of Gwendolyn Silver Samuels, a nurse, and Clarence Ransom Grier Jr., Air Force mechanic. Pam has been a major African star for the early 70s. Her career started in 1971 when Roger Corman of the New World Picture launched. So we could just go ahead and just talk about Miss Pam Grier. She played in the phenomenal Foxy Brown. She played in Jackie Brown. She played in TV shows. She didn't play in so many movies in the 70s. The list just goes on and on and on. I'm just like so profound of all the great work, and I'm a huge fan of Pam Grier. I tell you that. So I had to end the live tonight to talk about Miss Pam Grier and her great work. So I'm going to show all the photos of everything for this Black History webinar, but I just wanted to come on here tonight to share with you all because there's more of them that you're going to be seeing in the presentation that I'll be uploading on tomorrow evening for tonight's conversation. So, everyone, have an amazing and a safe Tuesday night. I love you all. I'm getting ready to do my anchor podcast for the True Solitude 1000 Women's Ministry. The topic for tonight is what is your next move? And the topic is talking about discouragement. I'm going to share the link to the Anchor podcast from last night as well as tonight. I'm going to share it on the main page of On Time Ministries, the True Solitude 1000 group page, and On Time Ministries, um, I believe, ministry page as well. So I love you all. God bless you. And thank you for tuning in to tonight's day 2 of the webinar, The Black History. And I love you all and good night.